Dozens gathering outside one Kentucky courthouse standing up for their religious liberty after an atheist group sent the county a letter last month demanding that this portrait of Jesus hanging on a courthouse wall be removed. Below the picture, the words, "In your place, what would Jesus do?" Supporters say the picture has been on display for decades without any issue.
It's time, I believe, for Christians to stand for what they believe in, and the picture of Jesus is not doing anyone any harm in the courthouse.
There's some people that want to get rid of God completely, okay? And when the more they get rid of God, the worse things get.
Court officials say there are no plans to take the picture down. For now, this is hardly the first time we've seen challenges like this, with two high-profile cases making it to the Supreme Court. The group asking for the portrait to be removed, saying, quote, "The courthouse should send a message of equal justice under the law and liberty for all." The Jesus painting instead sends an unconstitutional message of endorsement. It proclaims that Christians are insiders and the rest of us are outsiders. Peter, I go to you first. Is this unconstitutional to have a portrait of Jesus in the courthouse?
Per se, no, not on its own. It depends. Was it put there for a secular purpose, a non-religious purpose? And was it put there to advance a religion, advance the cause of Christ? Now, on the other side, the saying underneath the painting could cause some concern. If someone is a juror, for example, say, well, how would Jesus respond to the issue that you are judging in this courthouse today, or to a judge? But I think there has to be fact-finding. It's in Kentucky. We know what's going on in Kentucky. We know the issues that are going on there now. So there has to be some fact-finding. But per se, we know in courthouses and in law-making bodies, we saw the depiction of Moses this morning in the halls of Congress.
Right.
So,
this can go forward as long as you're not advancing a religion. It's okay.
Harris, I want to bring you in, and I want to give you two sides of this. The Freedom for Religion Foundation co-president says this sends the message that you better pretend to be a Christian if you want to get any service or justice around here. She went on the record of saying, at the same time, Judge Executive John Lester, they call him J.L. Smith, he tells others that they are welcome to place images in the hallway that represent their own personal faith or something that represents people of no faith.
So from what Peter just said, though, that is not really a fine line. It's a bright line, because it may have more to do with what's written kind of encaptioned with that picture. The picture on itself, you're talking about the Lemon test, by the way. And there are three things. You mentioned, too, the third is not to foster excessive entanglement with religion. So could you put the picture up in any regard without any writing underneath it, without any caption for it, not a plaque or anything, and would that make it more neutral in this sense?
Yeah, in these cases, folks will try and say this is really a historical rendition, that this is an art exhibition,
or a universal symbol of peace and love,
or we have various symbols of peace and justice.
Sure.
And we have a depiction of Muhammad. We have a depiction of Moses. We have a depiction of Solomon, of lawgivers, and it's done in that particular context. If it's done to say, go to church, go to the Methodist Church, go to the Baptist Church, go to the Catholic Church, then obviously that is unconstitutional.
Can I jump in here for a second? Because you're giving some really great, I think, legal arguments about, you know, where we're at with this. Can I just talk about it like a mom? I mean, I'm looking at this. They're not just ripping out religious symbols in these places. I think they're ripping out the morals and the values that are really behind this. And I think, you know, John Adams said our country was founded for a moral and our democracy was only supposed to be for a moral and religious people. That kind of liberty could only be harnessed and used wisely by our moral and religious people. As a mom, it is becoming so hard to teach our kids right from wrong because there's nothing left in our culture to guide them. And I would say that in a vacuum, you get nihilism, you get the extremism that the Pope was talking about, that's so dangerous. We have to be careful, I think, as a culture about what we're doing, that it's more than just the images. There's values and there's symbolism behind that
Andrea,
helps guide a culture.
I want to get you in here. I mean, is this the thoughts of a few imposing their beliefs or lack of beliefs on the beliefs of many?
I mean, look, we've covered these tyranny of the minority cases here on Outnumbered, but I do think that it does point to a larger movement away from a more spiritual and moral society into a coarsened culture. I mean, we've seen this evolution. Why all these lawsuits now, Peter? And look, I do understand the separation of church and state. To your point, there's religious imagery and murals all over different courthouses, statues. Are we going to have to start taking all of them down? I mean, does this set a precedent? I kind of believe if you find yourself in a courthouse, you probably could use a little Jesus in your life, but that's just me. Right. I mean, what do you think?
You make sense. Facts matter here. Let's see what the facts show, what the history was. I probably think it's not there to advance any religion.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
All right. Thanks for weighing in on that, Peter.